The night sky, a full moon hung overhead. The gaze of a young man in old-fashioned robes sun was sharp enough to incinerate the pagoda and everyone in it. Why wait, his time had come. Even after his entire clan was wiped out by a demonic sect he fought on for revenge, the enemies would soon notice the disappearance of the lackey whose neck he had just snapped, but he would finish this before they did. Soon in the center of the building, a meditating old man realized things had gotten too noisy. Out of curiosity, he opened his black eyes, their pupils like slits, and saw the young man, who immediately threw out a question. "You sit here meditating peacefully while your people die. What a heartless piece of shit." "But look who is talking," the old man retorted. "A brat who kills anyone he wants without even understanding the situation. Tell me, do you think a man cares about the bugs under his feet while he is climbing a mountain? No, his sight is set only on the summit." The same is true for the peak of the martial world. What arrogant nonsense. The young man swore he would personally eliminate this celestial demon with his own fist of heavenly lightning. But that was all the youngster was capable of. "Watch closely," the old man sneered, "and I will teach you how to really throw a punch." The technique of the heavenly blood flow. The old man's energy clashed with the young man's fiery resolve, and the young man lost. Damn, how did the old man summon swords right out of his palm? And where did the young man's bravado go now? Today this celestial demon will send you to meet your father in the underworld, you bastard. It is time for you to die. Like hell it is, the young man roared. Divine fist of the vegetable dragon, the ultimate art, sacred palm of heaven. The old man could not withstand such an onslaught. His hardened body, tempered over centuries, was now weaker than the young man's bare hands. Without a second thought, the youth mustered all his strength for a final blow, piercing the celestial demon's heart with his fist. He literally slammed the old man into the wall. "Do not you dare mention my father with your rotten tongue," he spat. "Remember your crimes as you drown in the tempered wrath of all those you have wronged and killed." It seemed he should have eradicated this sectional dragon back then. The old man had no idea the young master would grow so powerful. He could not believe this brat had broken his heavenly blood flow technique, and the damned bastard did not even give him a choice. Wait, was he taking out an elixir? If this old man drank that much at once, his demonic energy would spiral out of control. But it was too late to worry. It was already happening. Veins bulged on the old man's face, his pupils glowing with a violet light. He channeled all his demonic energy into the young man, who barely remained standing while the celestial demon was just warming up. "It is time for you to kiss the dirt." The young man realized he could not block this strike. But suddenly someone surrounded him with a barrier, saving him from certain death. So was the great mage just in time. "Yes, for God's sake, I cannot leave you alone for a second." Is this the cancer he was talking about? And a great mage. He is a guy from another world, at least that is what he claims. What the fuck? What kind of shit is this now? It was a perfectly normal Murim story. Where did this damn mage from another world come from? Fuck, I just wanted to read a normal hype Chinese cultivation power fantasy. What is this ice guy crap? It started off so cool. I wanted to recommend this manhwa to my favorite recapper. What the fuck? This is what Jinsun said as he read the book. Honestly, it started with a bang and ended with a whimper. The author's imagination just never rests. What kind of shit is this? A whole other world comes out of nowhere. Where is the fucking logic? Over his 23 years of life, the main character was already tired of stories like that. He had been demobilized from the military 6 months ago and was now preparing for college. Like many after finishing their service, he had clear plans before his discharge. Quickly relearn everything he forgot while in the army, get into college and stack up some certificates. The only problem, it was all so damn boring and the money was pitiful. Maybe he should look for a side job, but that thought remained just a thought. Instead, Saul became addicted to Murim manhwa, spending his time fantasizing about being the main character fighting monsters, and well, you know. Besides that, he wasted his time on a game called Ground. Right now, the guy walked into a PC bang. The admin asked the usual San, "Yep, 10 hours please." Long story short, this game had hooked the former soldier even during his leaves. After his discharge, he started no-lifing it and reached the top 10 in just 3 months. He even started earning money from the tournaments the PC bangs sometimes held. That is how he was getting by. The game rules were simple. 100 users are scattered across the map from a plane, and then a battle royale begins. Many said Ground was a PUBG copy, but San liked it. At this moment, he had barely found an assault rifle when his teammate said he spotted 2 enemies 250 meters away. Copy that. Double kill. Only 2 left now. Hey buddy, maybe be a little quieter. At least your girlfriend is not yapping in your ear for once. Alright, no need to get smart. A little later, the last survivors were desperately searching for the bastard in the skull mask. Gotta check that house. Okay, there is loot here, so he has not been through. A free medkit, nice. Look, a rat. Damn, we probably need to move. But Salin just popped him in the back of the head and became the last man standing. An easy win for the greatest, though his back was hurting from carrying his useless teammates. That is basically how the main character's life was going. He knew he needed to get his act together and start doing something. The text from his mom, "How is the studying going?" made him feel incredibly guilty. She had sent him money for his education, even a little extra for snacks. So he decided, starting tomorrow, he was quitting his bad habits. He would sign up for an English course. How many months had he already wasted? Getting home, he lay down to sleep, but decided to check out one video with a very interesting title. People with mysterious abilities have been spotted abroad. They call themselves players. Well, alas, that page no longer existed. Looks like the video was deleted. Damn bastards. Well, time for sleep then. The next day on his way to the English course, he got a text from his friend Corey, said he desperately needed help. Could San carry him to a win in the clan war? Just as the main character was about to agree, he saw a strange purple glow behind him. It closed in on him and started to suck him in. A moment later, it was all over. All that remained of the main character was his backpack lying alone on the city street. San himself saw a strange light. Was this his punishment for his resolve to study lasting only one day? But suddenly he heard screams in an unfamiliar language and a huge crowd of people fighting each other dressed in very strange clothes. Why are there so many cosplayers here? Is this a dream? Where the hell has San ended up now? Suddenly the statue in front of him seemed to speak. The gathering of 100 players is complete. System initialization beginning. Language synchronization 100% complete. What kind of nonsense is this? Since when do statues suddenly start speaking Korean? And now San could suddenly understand everyone around him. Not that it stopped the people fighting, they just continued their battle. Some elf asked loudly, "Chiron, why did you drag us into this?" "Did not Escrow bring himself here?" the man retorted. "You shameless walrus bastard. For an elf to trust Chiron again. Fine, it is his right. Everyone here is doomed to kneel before the power of the Demon King." "Oh no, that will not happen," the Archmage Escrow promised. "I will kill this bastard and then I will destroy the Demon King myself." Lightning strike, but the spell did not work. Chiron simply felt nothing. The two continued to argue. The main character realized this was far too real to be a dream. Then the system notified all users, "The game begins now. Difficulty easy. Your task is to make it into the top 10. Selected map the capital of the Noble Kingdom. Those who enter the top 10 will receive a reward. The tutorial can be skipped. All player attacks are blocked in the lobby. And since everyone here is a beginner, here is a brief guide to cloud survival. The game duration is 100 days. With each new dawn, the map will gradually shrink. Finding yourself outside its boundaries will be fatal, so be careful. The game ends when only one person remains alive. Upon session completion or upon death, users will return to their world. Players who do not make the top 10 will not be able to participate in Cloud Wall again. Soon the Eye of Argus will distribute you across the map. Everyone should search for items to aid in combat. Happy gaming and may luck be with you. The main character did not get it. Was he dreaming about ground now? But even if this was a dream, there were so many weird people here. What is this, a gathering of psychos? I am screwed, right? But even in a dream, he would be ashamed to die. So if everything here works like his favorite game. Hey, you with the messy hair, the one who does not want to listen. Why are you glaring at me like a warrior? Where is he from? Hey, you think you can ignore me? Is the kid deaf? Why are you smiling, you idiot? And really, why was the main character smiling? It was simple. He was having such a fun dream, so why not laugh? With his skills from Lord Ground, he would outlive everyone here. And that warrior could go fuck himself. And so the first game of Cloud Survival began. The players were teleported into the sky, most probably wanted to land in the hot spots, places full of useful items. The main character might have jumped into the city center himself, but his strategy was different. Sure, there is tons of loot, but fewer people means more room to breathe and more safety. Like in that remote building over there, for example. That is where the main character decided to land. Surprisingly, he even managed to stay on his feet. I'm gonna puke from that speed. Okay, seems alright. Time to check this house. Aw damn, he was so disoriented he did not notice who had landed next to him. Run, run, run. If he ran into an enemy without a weapon, he would die instantly. Sun slammed the door shut and crouched to catch his breath. Hugh, did that guy with the sword follow me? Crap, why did I have to provoke that warrior? But peeking out the window, San did not see anyone. Guess he got scared for nothing. Alright, no more suspicious sounds. Gotta search the place. The system told them to find useful items for combat. Sounded interesting. But then the guy tripped over something. He looked down and there was a heavy crossbow. The name fit, he could barely lift it, but it was better than nothing. Moreover, as soon as he looted the crossbow, instructions on how to use it popped into his head. He drew the string, took aim. For a sergeant of the South Korean army, this was a piece of cake. This is how you shoot, whoa fuck. No, this weapon is seriously powerful, a useful piece of kit. The main thing is to learn how to use it properly. After that, Sun ransacked the whole house but did not find anything else useful. But the game map was huge, so no big deal. As long as no enemies were on his tail, he could loot in peace. Entering another house, Sun noticed a scroll. It turned out to be a healing potion. To heal wounds, you just had to tear it. Sounded simple, nice. Healing potions are always useful. Now if only he could find an inventory bag. Oh ho, why is that book in the cupboard glowing? Picking it up, San got a notification. You have obtained the Combat Arts Manual Fist of the Black Star. This skill will turn any object in the user's hand into a lethal projectile. Do you wish to learn the skill just like that? Well, who would say no? Suddenly, a purple flash covered his face. The pages of the book began turning by themselves and then dissolved into the air. Just like that, the main character now knew how to strike powerfully with his palm. He did not feel any different, so he decided to test it. He grabbed a fork from the table and threw it at a pot. As the purple energy dissipated, San saw he had pierced the target. Yeah, this really works. Well, I have got loot, maybe I should eat. Or since there are combat arts books here, there should be magical ones too. I should look for them. One way or another, the guy was now convinced this Cloud Survival was very similar to his favorite game. After searching the house, the main character decided to move on. While scouting, he noticed the sun had already set, so screw reconnaissance. He needed to find shelter, but wait. Why is there a light on in that house over there? Here are two possibilities. First, a rare item is hidden there, and second, someone is inside. And by going inside, Sun was taking a big risk because he did not know how many people had landed nearby. But if there is someone alive in there, then it is either a cunning pro or a total noob. On the first floor, the guy did not hear anyone, so he decided to go to the second floor since he had a weapon. And the black star palm could catch an enemy off guard. Maybe he could even handle a pro. Stepping on the creaking steps of the wooden staircase, the main character raised his crossbow and aimed. The light was coming from an ordinary lantern, so it was a trap after all. Oh ho, there is another room here. If anyone is alive here, they're definitely in there. So the guy kicked the door down but found himself in a bedroom with no signs of life at all. Fuck, did Sun move over here as a joke again? There is really no one here, but in the desk drawer was a ring. Could it be another game item? According to the notification, it was some ring that gives plus 20 to strength when equipped. So Sun put it on immediately and felt like a hero because he could no longer feel the weight of the crossbow on his back. So that is what it is. A strength boost. What about stats, characteristics, no maybe status? Oh, and there is the coveted system window. Poo poo poo. Strength 30, endurance 15, agility 13, magic resistance 5. Kind of meager. Besides, he was assigned to the warrior class because of that book he learned. But no matter, that can be fixed. On the first day, Sun got some really good loot, so now he will quickly check the first floor. And there he found another ring, this time for subspace, allowing him to store extra items and equipment in an inventory. Putting it on, he felt like a true ring collector. So what are the instructions? To put an item away, you need to hold your right hand and say subspace. If you touch the ring with your left hand while thinking of a specific item, you can pull it out of the inventory. If the subspace is completely full, you cannot put any more items inside. A bit stuffy, of course, but clear. Saying the word subspace, a portal opened in front of Son, into which he immediately shoved the healing scroll. Pretty convenient, and he would not have to carry a heavy bag. If only he had such a thing in the real world. All these items and combat arts, if Cial could transfer them to reality, he could tear the city apart. Oh, interesting. So far no one has died. There should be a kill counter displayed for everyone. Should take a look. Aha, the guy found it. After all, one player bit the dust today. Earlier, Sun planned to loot until only 90 people remained. However, he managed to search the houses and find a lot of useful gear. And on top of that, all sorts of junk that he can charge with the black star and throw. Seems like he is done with this house. But is it time to move on, or better to stay here until dawn? Those strong players Sun saw in the lobby are probably prowling in the dark right now, and with his current level, the guy definitely cannot beat them. But if he hides and makes it into the top 10, then he can continue to loot in good spots like today. Okay, anyway, fewer people wander around at night, so he will make a run for one more place before dawn. And now he is outside. Although he has been moving all the time, he did not feel any fatigue. I wonder if that is another effect of the strength ring. Too bad it does not suppress thirst or hunger. The developers decided to crank up the realism so his stomach is empty. So hungry, no food in sight. Maybe there is something edible in the city. Okay, judging by the map, it should be around here. Well, where are the houses? But he did not expect to meet the local fauna at all, so he started to run, hid behind a tree, and whoa fuck, he did not feel its presence at all. Holy shit, it is a literal werewolf. Fucking hell. Need to run, find a house. Do anything, but definitely do not hide in the woods, or these creatures will find the main character. Fuck fuck fuck. He thought he had dropped into a normal PvP game, but here monsters are roaming around. If Sun had known it would be like this, he would have stayed in a safe spot. It all started so beautifully. It would be so shameful to die to a regular mob. Oh salvation, a house ahead. Gasping for breath, the guy managed to run inside, but soon heard the damn growling again. Crap, what to do? These creatures are walking around sniffing. Seems like they are tracking him by scent. Enough. Let them smell crossbow bolts then. Need to aim, hold his breath, and bam, right in that fucker. Thanks to the strength ring, Sun can now shoot with one hand. The question of what he was doing with the other remains open, but he only had to deal with the second werewolf. But it had already discovered the main character and started breaking down the door of the house. Well, not just breaking, he smashed it with one blow, and a flying splinter cut the guy's cheek. But that is nothing. It will heal before his wedding. Unlike the werewolf he shot at, which covered its head with its hand and lunged at Son. Is the main character really going to die just like that? Like hell. Subspace kunai black star palm, and this combination shattered the werewolf's torso. Take that, you disgraceful wolf creature, I am not for you to eat. Phew, thank God, survived. He really panicked back there. Almost got killed by a mob. What a disgrace, oh ho. And what is this bag? A drop from the werewolf. No way. Water and some cooked meat. So it turns out you can hunt here and the food problem is solved. Chewing the meat, the guy decided to search the house, and not in vain. He found armor, tried it on, it fit Sun just right, sweet. But suddenly the armor began to adjust to his body, and the main character got 2 notifications. He equipped the improved cuirass and greaves, and now his resistance to fire and wind had increased significantly. Whoa, a perfect fit, huh? His stats went up immediately. There must be more goodies lying around here for sure. Need to keep searching. But alas, the guy found nothing. At least he thought so, until he stumbled upon an invisible item like a cloth. Okay, and if he puts it on, then according to the system messages, a player who stands still in the dark can now blend in with it. Also, the night cloak blocks magical weapons and muffles sounds. Well damn, so at night he can hide from everyone in peace. Yes, this is an indispensable item for survival. With this, Son will definitely make the top 10. He was surprised he found a house in the middle of nowhere, but it turned out it was just a totally unreal spot for farming. The second day brought even more than the first, and after that throughout the night the main character did not meet anyone. Maybe the landing spread really is quite large. But then he heard the scream of some unknown guy who was tired of running. Fuck, if he had managed to use that thing he would have dealt with that idiot in an instant. He needs to catch his breath. How unlucky to run into a mage right away. Not good. But here Sun, hiding behind a tree after putting on the night cloak, realized what a weakling that Tick is. If he is not mistaken, he can deal with him quickly, but aiming, the guy bit his lip. This is simple, right? Just a game. Why hesitate? Just shoot and be done with it. And then apparently the player chasing that poor guy caught up to him and said Flame of Eskra. At the same moment, a fireball flew from the mage's hand, instantly turning the noob into smoldering embers. And he died, it seems. Yes, and a chest appeared on the spot where the corpse was, so this is definitely just a game. The main character was worried for nothing. But then that same mage with fire in one hand and a sword in the other walked right past the invisible San, and the guy had to cover his mouth to not make a sound. Phew, that was close. He absolutely loves this cloak. Judging by the mage's earlier pompous speech, the dead guy was named Aaron, and the dead player was no different from San. His opponent also killed him without hesitation, and while the guy hesitates, he will simply be put in a grave to raise his rank. So if he wants to survive, he will have to shoot. But the crossbow bolt collided with the mage's barrier, and the mage probably surrounded himself with flame, but still did not notice the main character, so Sun shot at the barrier again. At this rate, the wizard's protection will not hold if the unknown keeps blasting. Where is he? Fuck. He is there, charging. Stop hiding, you coward, show yourself. But instead of answering, the main character threw a kunai charged with the black star at the mage and shattered his barrier to hell. But the mage had already noticed the crossbowman started to chant a spell and did not have time. A bolt flew into his ribcage and the mage's body disappeared within seconds, leaving behind only a chest. And thank God, if someone noticed the pyromancer's flame, then San's loot was as good as gone, so he needs to quickly gather the gear and scram. First, he will check the mage's inventory, and there he found gloves, a medium healing scroll, and an ojlacro symbolizing that the user is a mage of that school. But the gear has not a single buff, so it is trash for now. Sun will stash it. Damn, honestly not much. And what is this? A circle stone. Yes, according to the system hint, it allows you to engrave a circle in a player's heart, which will unlock access to using mana. After activation, the user can learn magic. Heh, so becoming a caster is that simple, it turns out. Probably that is why that poor guy was screaming. He did not have time to loot this cool item and died. Sorry, but San will use the circle stone in his place. Well, okay, he will throw the rest into his inventory without distinction and take a closer look in safety. For now, the guy will look for a spot where he can calmly use the new gear. And later, this stone building will be perfect for the main character. Entering it, he immediately used the artifact and got a warning. After activation, he will not be able to move for 3 hours. Also, circle formation will be accompanied by moderate pain sensations. But what kind of moderate? Sun restrained himself with all his might to not scream. He spent those 3 hours in hellish torment. Dawn came and drooling, the main character told the system to shove its moderation up its ass. This was a pure nightmare compared to the combat arts. Status: okay, mage. Strength and endurance reached 30 points, agility 27, magic resistance 10, and the class changed to warrior mage. And since San saw 2 deaths that night, the number of survivors should have decreased. But checking the data, the main character was stunned. What do you mean 54 people died? And most of them were killed by one player, Namsagwin. And a few hours earlier, the swordsman who got pissed at San in the lobby was trying to run away from this psycho, but he just licked his lips. And when the swordsman tripped and fell to the ground, started to beg him to at least make it into the top 10, the psycho did not listen, activated his power, surrounded himself with blue energy, grabbed the swordsman by the face and tore his head off. The name of this cruel psycho is Namsquin. And he did not even take his loot, just hopped off to kill the remaining players. And at the present moment, the main character hoped he would not run into this cyborg killer. But wait, at this rate, he might even reach the top 10 and the top 10 get a reward. So interesting, what will it be? Hopefully something useful, not like money. What if it is the ability to use the skills and items from here in the real world? Ha, dream on. There's a psychopath out there. Sun is already dreaming like a fool. Need to finish up and move on. Ha, the main character feels some energy emanating from him. Is it mana? Exactly. Seems while he was looting yesterday, he found a magic book. Its name is Spheres of Wind. By learning this skill, the player gains the ability to create them using magic. The number of spheres increases as the player progresses in their magical powers. Does the player wish to use the item? And of course, why would he not? But then it was as if the spell formula was drawn right in San's head. He had to try it. Magic extra sphere of wind. Is that all just 4 microspheres? What garbage. However, as soon as the main character threw the product of his magic, it tore apart the wall behind him. Well, holy shit, the spheres are small but powerful. Quality stuff. They say it is not the size that matters, but how you use them. But suddenly San felt very tired. Was it because he drained his mana to 0? Well, yeah, whatever. A lot of time had passed, so the boundaries of the game zone had shrunk and were clearly visible on the map, and the main character decided to carefully sneak along the borders. Half the players were eliminated, so the risk of running into them is minimal. He should power up as much as possible before the zone shrinks further. Meanwhile, standing in a tree behind the main character was an old man he had seen in the lobby. And to be honest, this unknown was very interested in the guy, so he continued to watch him. And by afternoon, according to the map, the houses should be somewhere around here. And so it was. But besides them, there were many half-open chests lying around, darkened by puddles of blood on the road. And then the main character turned around, activated the spheres of wind, and threw them at the nearest door. However, there was no one behind it. Did the guy imagine it? He was sure he felt someone's presence. Oh my god, but behind the door there is also a lot of blood. Probably a wounded person is hiding there since there is no chest. It must be someone strong to have survived until now. Maybe he is crawling around half dead. Well, who knows, maybe there will be something useful among the unknown's gear. Although fuck that. Survival is the priority. He better get out of here himself. And the wounded man saw the figure of the main character disappear into the forest and sighed with relief. Thank God he managed to hide, or he would be dead for sure. If not for the wounds, he would have quickly dealt with the unknown. Well, what can you do? Perhaps he will search for healing potions in the chests and get out of here. But it was not to be. An arrow from a crossbow bolt pierced the man's skull. His pupils narrowed, and that was it. He disappeared. Phew, thank God the wounded man did not drag it out. Now he will take all the items and head for the zone border. When suddenly the old man appeared in front of the main character. And as he looked him over, he said, "What a skilled young crossbowman. Holy fucking shit." Son got distracted. But perhaps he should not be afraid. The old man will not harm him. He just has a couple of questions. Fine, then who is he? Ah, that is not important anymore. After all the people here were brought from different places. And the main character realized this old man is probably very different from the other players. Okay, maybe he can ask what he wanted. No, the old man has been watching the young man for a while and noticed he adapted quickly. He probably realized that nothing here is real. How did the main character not notice how long he was being followed? This is his first time in such a realistic world, but in his own reality he often played a similar game. But judging by the old man's appearance, he is definitely not from Earth. He probably did not understand everything. The old man noticed that it got dark very quickly. Aha, here the third day has already begun. He then asked, "Is the moon in your world just as huge?" And no, here it is much bigger, just like in the old man's world. By the way, the young man can tell him about that game, and Son is generally not against it, but in this place they are easy prey. But if so, then they can move somewhere else. A sound thought, but how is the main character to know the old man will not kill him? But grabbing him by the scruff of the neck, the old man told him to be quiet if he does not want to become a target, and then leaped through the tree branches in an unknown direction. At that time, the main character could not imagine what consequences this meeting would bring, and later the old man stopped on a branch of a tall tree. Why? It is scary, damn, but it is just safe here. So the young man played as humans in virtual reality. It sounds like he is from some incredible world. How to put it, his place is a soon-to-be-developed civilization. Wow, now the old man understood how the guy could adapt so quickly. By the way, he has been following Son since the moment he landed. And in general, the old man planned to enjoy the fresh air on top of a mountain for the next 100 days, but the young man's actions interested him too much. So he decided to talk to him to find out what exactly is happening here, so Son can relax. The thing is, the main character himself does not know what is going on. Well, he said himself that a lot here is like in his world. And yes, but those are games for fun. In them, no one truly died. But here we are talking about the motives of supernatural beings capable of kidnapping people from other worlds. Nevertheless, Son believes for someone this game will be a huge opportunity. Hawk, tell me more details. Well, it seems like if you die here, you just return. And if you manage to make it into the top, they give you a reward. And Son thinks it will be the items the players got here. Not only them, but also the combat art skills and other things the user possessed here. Although who the hell knows if people will need such things. But for someone who has faced difficulties in life, these abilities could change everything. The old man does not understand why suddenly. Well, he looks like a master from Mura. Son would bet his tooth that in his homeland he has an army of admirers while the guy himself is of no use. That is why he considers everything happening here an opportunity. What interesting things the young man said. Well, he should not laugh so quickly. And while the main character was telling his new acquaintance about tips and tricks that could be useful in this world, the old man responded with stories about his own world. And during these conversations, dawn broke unnoticed. And since it is already morning, the old man is ashamed to continue taking up the young man's time. Well, next to this person seems to Son like the safest place right now, and he liked the old man's stories. However, the old man must repay the young man for the lesson. What does he want? Oh, the Mura master can teach the main character one of his combat arts. The guy would like to last as long as possible. The old man's knowledge would be useful to him. However, the old man did not think that was a good idea. Well, unless the guy is ready for the worst, namely death.